I've seen people waste over $200,000 on the wrong type of tax attorney, and today we're gonna make sure that's not you. I'm Brad Paladini, and yes, I'm a tax attorney. I have over a decade of experience helping individuals and businesses resolve tax problems so they don't lose everything. In today's video, we're gonna go over how to find the best tax attorney for your situation. The first thing you wanna do is match the attorney's expertise to your problem. Not all tax attorneys do the same thing. We all have different areas of focus. Some tax attorneys focus on mergers and acquisitions, so maybe buying or selling a company. Other tax attorneys focus on state and local tax issues. Some focus on high net worth individuals and develop trusts and estate plans to minimize tax burden in the future. There are a lot of different types of tax attorneys, and the important thing is that you find one who handles the particular area that you're dealing with. So hop on their website, see what they have written about, see what their practice areas are to make sure there is alignment with the situation that you are facing in their area of focus of their practice. The second thing you want to review when finding the best tax attorney is their experience and case volume. Some solo practitioners focus on tax, so you have one attorney in charge of your case, which is a nice thing, except that one attorney is also in charge of all of their other cases as well. So if you're hiring a solo practitioner, you want to make sure that they have the capacity to take on your case. If they work at a larger firm, you want to make sure that there are several attorneys who also focus on that particular practice area. That way, if the attorney is out sick or on vacation or on leave, there's somebody else who can step in and make sure the case continues without any gaps in the legal work. You should also look at the fee structure of the attorney that you're hiring. There is no one best fee structure. Every attorney charges a little bit differently. Most commonly, attorneys charge on an hourly basis. So for every hour of work that they do, they send you a bill for that hour of work. There are pros and cons to this. The pro is that you only pay for the work that they do. The con is that you never quite know exactly how much work they're going to do in a given month, and sometimes you can get very large bills. Tax attorneys can charge anywhere between $5,000 and $2,500 an hour, so it can add up very quick. Another common method is a flat fee structure, where they charge you a one-time fee to handle the particular work. Again, there are pros and cons to this. The big pro is that it is a fixed fee, so you know exactly what you're paying. The con is that the scope is usually pretty narrow, so they are working on one specific aspect, and if you need help with anything additional, that will usually result in additional charges. Another downside is that they typically want their money up front because they don't want to do all the work and then not get paid in the future. Last, some attorneys charge a fixed monthly fee. So this would be a smaller amount than a fixed fee to cover the entire case. It's basically spreading it out over the life of the case. And it's the same fee every single month, which is nice. So you know you're not going to get a surprise bill from someone charging on an hourly basis, which may be outside your budget for that particular month. Again, there are pros and cons to all of these different structures. The most important thing is that you decide what is best for you and find an attorney in alignment that builds that way. You also want to look at the team that will be involved in your case. Even if it's a solo practitioner, more often than not, there is a team behind the scenes working on your case. It really grinds my gears when I see a firm out there that brags about being, a tax attorney or a tax law firm, and they literally have one tax attorney and then 100 support staff who does all of the actual work, and the tax attorney is just there kind of for face value. You want to make sure that, yes, they do have staff who can kind of help out, but that you will get some personalized attention from the attorney working the case. The next thing you want to look at is credentials. One, you want to make sure that they are a licensed attorney. Every state has different licensing requirements, but you want to make sure that they are licensed. They should probably also be admitted to US tax court, depending on the type of tax attorney that you're hiring. If you're hiring someone for like a merger and acquisition or a trust and estate, really not necessary that they are admitted. But if you're hiring someone for a tax problem, tax litigation, you want to make sure that they are admitted to tax court. In most states, you can also look up their disciplinary history to see if there's any admonishments or periods of times where maybe they were suspended from practicing law. Just because they have something on their record doesn't mean that they're a bad attorney. Oftentimes you can pull the actual record of why they got into trouble with the Bar Association and then make a determination based on that if it's enough to avoid this attorney or not. The next thing that you can look at is awards and reviews. I personally don't put a whole lot of stock into awards. There are a lot of awards out there for the legal industry that's more or less a pay-to-play sort of scenario, where if you're willing to pay this company for a marketing package, they are willing to say that you are the best tax attorney in XYZ area or state or whatever. So I don't put a tremendous amount of value in awards, but there are certainly very legitimate awards. I know some law schools, like the law school I attended, University of San Diego, will issue an award to a tax attorney every year. That is a very legitimate award. All of the attorneys I know who have been awarded that are really, really great attorneys. So some of the awards are legitimate, in my opinion. Most of them are not. So they are certainly not the end-all be-all for finding the best tax attorney. Along with that, you want to look at reviews. So things like Google reviews or Facebook reviews or wherever this particular attorney is kind of getting people to leave reviews from them. It doesn't matter so much whether they have a 3, 4, or 5-star ranking. You really want to take the time to actually read both the positive and the negative reviews to make a determination whether that attorney is the right fit for you. If the attorney has been doing this for a long time and they have an online presence, I pretty much guarantee there's going to be negative reviews out there because you will never make every client happy. So really take your time, read the reviews, and then make a judgment call on whether that attorney is a good fit for your situation. One thing I always like to know when hiring an attorney, I have attorneys that I hire for my firm, is their communication style. Attorneys are notoriously terrible at keeping their clients updated on cases. So maybe you could call the office and ask what their communication policy is. For instance, at our firm, we really have a goal to send all of our clients a monthly update, even if we've communicated with them earlier in the month. We just like being on the same page with the client, letting them know what we've done, what we still need to do, any important deadlines that are coming up. So check to see if they have some sort of structure and policy in place to make sure that you are frequently updated. Other firms maybe have a 1-day return call policy where they try to return every single call or email within 1 business day. It doesn't so much matter what the exact policy is, but you do want to have some sort of policy to make sure that you are staying informed on your case. Let's talk about some red flags when hiring a tax attorney. One red flag is a guaranteed outcome. In most jurisdictions, it's actually unethical for an attorney to guarantee any sort of outcome. So that's a major red flag to begin with. The other part of this is that it's nearly impossible to guarantee an outcome. For our particular area of tax law where we are working with the IRS, they don't always do the right thing even though they are supposed to. So I would never guarantee a particular outcome on a case. I may give, hey, here's what I typically see, here are some ranges that we're looking at, but I can't guarantee what the result will be because ultimately it's not up to me, it's up to the government. Companies that also make some sort of special program promise like in an ad, like there's some sort of special relief available or a special program that only they have access to, that is a red flag. Another red flag is you never actually meet the tax attorney. Maybe they have someone who helps with the sales process and the onboarding process, but you never actually have an opportunity to meet with the tax attorney assigned to the case. You want to make sure that you do have the ability to have some sort of communication with them, maybe an occasional phone call or a Zoom meeting or email exchanges. But if the company is run where you never ever get in touch with the tax attorney, that would be a red flag for me. So to recap on what we've talked about today, you really want to match the attorney's area of focus to your specific tax problem. Not all tax attorneys do the same things. We all have various niches that we focus on, and the key is finding an attorney who works on the niche that you are looking to resolve. You want to know how the attorney bills and make sure that's in alignment with how you are comfortable being charged for their services. You can look at awards and reviews, take everything you read with a grain of salt. And the last thing you want to do is make sure you do have the opportunity to actually speak with the tax attorney who's going to be handling your case. That's my advice for finding the best tax attorney for your situation. If you like this video, take a moment to please like and subscribe. We have more content coming out every week, so make sure you don't miss a video.